some killers coming through. I mean, one of the things I say, are you a court filler or are you a court killer? Are you just occupying space, or are you really going to be the champion that you think you can be and perhaps we think you can be in the team? So I remember working with Jack Draper the first time I saw Jack. His mother brought him to me and said, look, I think he's pretty good. And I was like, well, he's still pretty young. This guy turns up at sort of 5 or 6 years old and looks at me and sort of checks me out. I thought I was checking him out. I thought I was giving him a trial. He was definitely giving me a trial. So even at that young age, 5, 6 years old, I felt like most sessions was a bit like a job interview. I felt the stress of that, like I have to be good enough for you. And I will always say thank you. I'll always be very grateful for the pressure that Jack put on me for about 10 years. I think in the end we started to get a bit more relaxed. Of course we did. But there was definitely that sense of, look, this is serious to me. Are you going to be good enough every session? And so that's something I've always taken with me since then. And I want to feel that pressure. I want to feel like the player owns their journey, and Jack definitely owned his journey from early doors. And I'll tell you a little bit about Joe Salisbury, of course, former world #1, 5-time Grand Slam champion. A lot quieter, a lot more introvert, but you could definitely sense his intensity, his urgency, and his desire possibly to be understood. I want to be a champion. I want to be a world champion. I don't quite get it in me, but I'm going to put it out there to the people that I trust, and I was one of those trusted people. And I definitely got that vibe from an early age. And then you start training. As we're going to see, we start training a little different with those guys that really want to take it on.
Coach Life is the most incredible tennis platform I've seen to date. My students often go on Instagram and they see all these things on Instagram and stuff like that, but the problem I've got is it's not from the world's most proven developmental coaches. Coach Life consists of the world's most proven developmental coaches. You've got Francis Tiafoe's junior coach, Misha Kuznetsov. You've got Jack Draper's junior coaches. You've got people like Michael Joyce that are phenomenal former players. They've developed, you know, some of the world's best players. Coach Life would have made me a better player had it existed back when I was a junior player.
Yeah, what I'm looking for in a player that I really believe I can help the most is that eye of the tiger, that real hunger in a young player. And I don't care where it's come from. It might have come from birth, it might have been talked about around the house, or someone might have picked up a racket for the first time. And then when I see them, I can just tell there's a glint in their eye, there's a sparkle about them, they're like ready to go. And they almost look at you like, oh, thank goodness I met you. I really want this as well. So we're looking for someone that, yeah, has got that spark, has got that real edge to their personality, because we're not talking about normal people. Normal people do not become world champions. Normal human beings do not do this. We're looking for the freak athletes, the freak enthusiasts about tennis, the kids that know everything there is to know. Who's the Hungarian #1 12 years ago? Who was it? Looking out for someone who not scared to be different, because in this kind of world, to put yourself out there as an individual player in so many great team sports, rugby, football, cricket, all these great team sports, but you want to put it on you, you want to be the guy that's going to come through and have all that pressure on you. Yeah, I think that really takes something. So when a young player comes to you and they identify as a tennis player and identify as a sort of wannabe professional tennis player, they need to be in the environment of someone who really, really believes that along with them. And I think that what I've noticed in my coaching is that I can make people believe even more in what they can do, and coupled with good information and a great enthusiasm for becoming a professional player, then that's what I feel that my biggest strength is. Hey, you want to get to Wimbledon? I want to get there too. If you want it and you say you really want it, then we've got to go. We've got to go all in. It's going to be early mornings. There aren't going to be any excuses. And the thing is, working through this age group, there's going to be some tough times. There's a lot of developmental hormones that come in, and there's going to be things that are going to frustrate you as a tennis player, young tennis player. We can't be normal. I can't stress that enough. Normal is getting upset when you miss a ball. We can't be normal. Unless you're going to prove later on that you're good enough, that you can handle that. But we know how few players there have been through the history of great tennis players that have been able to handle their emotions when they've just lost the plot completely. If you're really interested, then you get upset. If you want to be #1 in the world, you don't get upset. You work with me, we solve the issues, we work on stuff, and we come back stronger. It's a tough, tough world out there. And I say to a lot of the British players that I work with, hey, what would the little guy in Chile be doing right now? What would the little guy in Argentina doing right now? What's the kid in Australia doing right now? Because they're the ones that you're going to be competing with in 10, 15 years' time. So you better be better than them at this stuff. And that's what my focus is. My focus is on trying to get the very best out of this athlete emotionally, physically, technically and tactically. But I think the emotional side is probably the toughest. But really, it's about character, it's about competitiveness, and it's about whether or not he can learn to be a performer. So character, competitiveness, and performer. You need to have a certain robustness about you as a human being. Everyone can hit forehands and backhands, but can you get into the top 100? If you're going to try and get in the top 100, you had better have this crazy, relentless, marine-style character. And you need to better enjoy being center stage. This is a big space to fill, even for a 6'4", 6'5" athlete. When I've got a 5'0" 12-year-old and he can fill his space and he owns his territory, then I think I'm onto something. And someone like Jack Draper would have turned up, no bigger than me, 7 or 8 years old, and sort of looked at me in the eyes and said, right, come on then, I can fill this court space, show me what you got. But I need to, as a performance coach, I need to make sure that he's learning in the context of a tactician, of a performing tactician, someone that can think on the job, someone that can think under extreme pressure, someone that can think clearly when they've been pushed 5, 10 meters outside the side of the court, and then decide whether they can be bothered to come back in and make a drop shot, or not just get the ball back in, but do something with it that's going to get the whole of Arthur Ashe Stadium on their feet and excited. And that's what has to happen sort of day in, day out for the next 10, 15 years of training until they start to reach the bottom of that highest mountain.